The Newcastle Knights are in a state of emergency. Let's discuss. So the Newcastle Knights have gone from being top of the table with 2 wins and 0 losses at the end of round 2 to now 2 wins and 6 losses after round 8 and now situated in last place. It all really started round 3 when the Knights took on the Penrith Panthers and somebody whispered blueberry pie into Mitch Barnett's ears, activating his sleeper agent code as he decides to kill Chris Smith. And ever since then, oh boy, it's been bad for Newcastle. They've gone from losing that game to Penrith, they lost to Cronulla, then they lost to Manly, then they lost to St George, then they lost to Parramatta, and then, just yesterday, lost to Melbourne by 50 points. And as we all know the state, I know no one's ever brought this stat up, but no team has won a premiership where they've conceded 50 points in a regular season. Though actually it was the Knights that actually are the reason that stat exists anyway, so I don't know. But why the dramatic change? Why, as a team that people think could be genuine contenders, now bottom dwellers? How has this happened? Well, one thing that definitely needs to be discussed is the amount of injuries that the Knights have actually picked up over the last coming weeks. So the players the Knights have had injured include Dane Gagai with a cheekbone injury, Hymel Hunt with a cheekbone injury, Jariah Mamasia with an arm injury, and of course Jaden Brayley doing his Achilles in the preseason. Dominic Young, Lachlan Fitzgibbon, Bailey Hodgson, Mitch Barnett being suspended, but that's not really an injury, and Matt Croker. That is a considerate amount of players that are currently out. Obviously, some of them are about to come back over the next coming weeks, so things could definitely change, but it's kind of a clear indication about what has been recently happening with the Newcastle Knights. Another thing to be brought up, which has been an issue for the Knights probably for like over 10 years, is the halfback problem. Ever since Andrew Johns retired, we have not had a consistently good halfback. It's just we haven't really found our groove. Like, we're still having problems with it now. Like, Adam Clune is currently the halfback, but then we've signed Anthony Milford to the club. Like, I don't know what's going on there. Like, just there's no actual like sort of leader to step up. I mean, currently at the moment, Kalen Ponga is the captain of the Knights. And he kind of just started ball watching in that game against the Storm, and the ball just goes out for a goal line dropout. That was brilliant. And it's just there's no real leadership at the Knights. And it goes through the entire thing with the board and like the coaches. Is like, we don't have an identity at all. What is the Knights play style? Like, it's so like it's just like you can definitely tell a Melbourne play style and a Penrith play style. Newcastle just doesn't have one. Now, I'm not saying that Adam O'Brien should be, like, sacked or anything, because personally, like, I don't think he's the right fit for the Knights, but it's like, he is a good coach. It's just, I do very much hate when the players around in the squad are bad, but it's the coach that gets the blame for it. It just keeps giving these teams like just constant like underachieving, which has been also a major issue with the Knights about holding on to our coaches. But I feel like one of the main issues is this whole Kalen Ponga saga. I mean, it had to have been ridiculously distracting. Like, they literally, during the halftime break with the Knights Dragons game, it was reported that apparently Kalen Ponga, the Knights had apparently pulled the offer off the table for Kalen Ponga to resign. And yet, then it was proved afterwards that it was bullshit, that it was a lie. So it's like, obviously it's going to be very distracting, but personally it's just, of all this, Kalen Ponga has, if he wants to achieve to become the player that he needs to be, he needs to get the fuck out of Newcastle. Like, we've got nothing for him here. Like, I know basically he's kind of welded to his dad at the moment. Well, basically at this point, you might as well give Andre the coaching role. I mean, if it works for Penrith, it could work for the Knights. But, like, genuinely, honestly, I don't think he should be at the Knights. He hasn't really, ever since he's been here, he hasn't really been consistent. Obviously, he's had problems with, like, injuries and stuff like that, which is understandable, but it's like, he really just needs to get out of Newcastle. He needs to go up to Redcliffe. And I feel like making that signing is just probably the worst decision he could probably make, because I just, like, and it's like, I like Kalen as a player, but it's just, if he's wanting to achieve anything, he should not have re-signed with the Knights. And for all we know, if the way things are going, and the Knights keep losing, he'll probably have to be chased out of Newcastle, kind of like Wayne Bennett was. But it's just, unfortunately, with this whole club keeping on going, the fans will still go out to support them, because Stockholm Syndrome is a massively rampant thing in Newcastle. And I know a lot of people were like, oh, sticking it to Wayne Bennett because he didn't get Kalen Ponga to sign for Redcliffe. I don't understand where the fuck this narrative of, oh, Wayne Bennett fucked over the Knights. Because he didn't fuck over the Knights. Yes, in terms of like the Knights collapse after into 2015, 16, 17 wooden spoons, partially was because Bennett left. But you want to know who the main person was? It was fucking Tinkler. And yet, like, Tinkler was the one, he not only fucked the Knights over, he also fucked the Jets over. Like, I don't understand why this narrative's like, oh, fuck you, Wayne. It's like, Wayne isn't the main perpetrator of this. It wasn't like Wayne was the one who owned the Knights and the Jets and then ran out of money and then fucked off because he was about to be in prison because people wanted him to pay up. It's just a ridiculous scenario currently going on in the Knights, and I've seen people tweet about, oh, how they've worked in the boards and the in the actual club itself, and it's absolute circus, which, I mean, in some circumstances, that is kind of the culture at Newcastle, but, like, I don't know. Well, the next coming up games, the Knights take on the Cowboys up at Townsville, which we don't do well up here. We don't go well up there at all. Like, the Cowboys have sort of been a bogey team, especially up north, and the only way the Knights make that game close is if some bullshit happens to the Cowboys, like, oh, a Cowboys player gets put in the bin or sent off, then maybe the Knights could win, but then again, knowing the Knights would probably still lose. And then we play the Bulldogs at Magic Round, and, like, if this was a couple of weeks ago, I said, yeah, we could probably beat the Bulldogs, but they just beat the Roosters. But then again, the Roosters are just really ordinary at the moment. It's just, I don't know, but I don't think the Knights will come last, but the fact that they are last now is a major problem. Like, coming after, yes, the Knights over the last 2 years have made the finals. In all honesty, we really shouldn't have. Like, literally, we had a 50% win record, and we got 7th. Like, the Titans made the finals, and they had more losses than wins. Like, it should not be a thing. But, I don't know, it's hard to say. I'm a bit skeptical about what does happen with the Knights going forward, because it's genuinely starting to look like we could be getting another spoon again. It's just really unfortunate. But anyways, I'll actually be on the Sam Revel channel tomorrow night at 7 PM for the preview of the North Queensland Cowboys and Newcastle Knights game. So you should definitely check it out when that happens. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all later.